Tip, then call the WYMT News Tip line.
Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, strong storms hit several states yesterday, leaving at least 9 people dead. And the investigation continues after classified documents were found at President Joe Biden's home and former office.
Plus, a few snow showers in the forecast this evening, but those chances will wind up soon. The latest coming up is Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. After dealing with strong storms yesterday, we're getting some snow showers today. A winter weather advisory is still in effect for our higher elevations in a few counties. Let's check in with meteorologist Evan Hatter for the latest on this first alert weather day. Evan.
That's right, Steve. That winter weather advisory, you've seen it at the bottom of the screen all day, and even going back to yesterday, that is only in place for our areas above about 2,000 feet. The vast majority of us will be dealing with some rather, snowy conditions, but it's not sticking a whole lot in most spots. A look outside right now from downtown Hazard. Yes, we're seeing a few flakes fly, but you look at those roads, they're only on the wet side, and a few of those snowflakes melting on the camera lens as well. The roads, the ground for most, just too warm for that snow to stick, despite the fact that the air temperature is at 32. So we'll keep watching that. And for the most part, you see maybe a few flakes trying to stick in the forested areas up towards High Knob there in UVA-wise. With the temperature at 28 there, it is a little cooler up in the higher elevations as you'd expect. Temperatures and wind chills out there right now. For the most part, temperatures around, or wind chills around the temperature, meaning we don't have strong winds out there, but a few places are seeing those wind chills in the mid-20s with those temperatures in the mid-30s, so nothing too crazy. There's a look at pinpoint Doppler at this hour, and we'll continue to see things move from northwest to southeast with a few of those showers as we head through tonight. The details on when we warm back up in a few minutes. Steve?
Right, Evan, thanks. Well, a deadly tornado outbreak has devastated parts of the South. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest from hard-hit Griffin, Georgia.
Homes destroyed, mangled debris hanging from power lines, taking over yards, parking lots, and streets. It's a similar scene across multiple states in the South.
The wind picked up so strong, I had to jump out, and I ran out because everything was shaking.
Dozens of tornadoes have been reported across 9 states. The coroner in Ottawa County, Alabama, searching for bodies after reporting multiple fatalities.
When they said Selma hit bad, it hit bad.
It don't look like home no more. Our town is destroyed.
Oh my God.
The massive tornado that hit Selma, Alabama was likely on the ground for at least 50 miles, lofting debris into the air to about 10,000 to 15,000 feet and leaving a trail of destruction through 7 counties across the state.
It's a lot to take. I've been trying to salvage what I can all day, and it's just hard.
A state of emergency has been declared in Georgia, where a 5-year-old boy has been killed by a tree that crushed a car.
We got a lot of state workers out there in dangerous situations, a lot of our private utility partners and others that are trying to restore power. It's a very dangerous environment, certainly last night and still is today.
The death toll now stands at 9, 7 deaths in Alabama and 2 deaths in Georgia. Most open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act ends on Sunday. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services says a record 16 million people have signed up since November 1st. More than 3 million of them are new to the exchange this year. The government says the Affordable Care Act is gaining popularity after federal enhancements reduce the price. Most people can find plans that cost less than $10 a month. Even after open enrollment ends, Americans who lose health care or have very low income can still sign up throughout the year. Sunday is also the deadline to apply for health insurance through Connect. That is Kentucky's health care marketplace. Anyone who needs coverage can look through plans at connect.ky.gov. Governor Andy Beshear is urging families to see what they qualify for. Plans kick in on February 1st. The next open enrollment period is in November. A push to prevent congressional members from trading stocks while serving in office is gathering some momentum. Yesterday, Democratic Representative Abigail Spanberger and Republican Representative Chip Roy reintroduced the Trusting Congress Act. The proposal calls for lawmakers, their spouses, and dependent children to place particular investment assets into a qualified blind trust. This is the third attempt to get this bill to the floor, but unlike before, there is more support. Some members of Congress were scrutinized for financial moves made during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. A top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee has launched an investigation into the Biden administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. Representative Michael McCaul requested a vast number of documents from the State Department, marking an official launch of the Republican-led panel's investigation into the chaotic withdrawal. The Afghanistan probe is just one of many investigations into the Biden administration that House Republicans are beginning to push ahead with. The State Department did its own review of the Afghanistan withdrawal last year. That report was concluded more than 10 months ago. The investigation into classified documents found at President Joe Biden's home and office is heating up. CBS's Paula Reed has more about when the documents were found and how they came to light.
A short time before Garland's announcement, the White House revealed that additional documents had been discovered at the president's Wilmington residence.
They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas and file cabinets in my home and my personal library.
There have been many questions about the timeline of these events. Garland tried to fill in some of the gaps. On November 2nd, Biden's lawyers discovered 10 classified documents at Biden's former office in Washington, D.C. CNN has learned these included information about Iran, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom, and also included top secret information. On November 4th, Garland says the National Archives contacted the Justice Department. After the initial discovery of classified documents, Biden's team decided to search several locations where files from his vice presidential office may have been shipped after he left office. 10 days later, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in Chicago was tapped to review the matter. Biden's lawyer revealed the additional documents found in his garage on December 20th. On January 5th, the U.S. attorney from Chicago briefed Garland and advised that a special counsel was warranted.
This appointment underscores for the public the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters, and to making decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law.
The Biden White House is still not providing many additional details, instead deferring to the Justice Department.
There's an ongoing process. It's being reviewed. Don't have more to share.
The president was grilled Thursday on why classified documents were stored in the same garage as his sports car.
My Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street. As I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review.
Biden previously blasted Trump over his retention of classified documents.
How that could possibly happen, how anyone could be that irresponsible.
Now Republicans are calling foul.
Here's an individual that sat on 60 Minutes that was so concerned about President Trump's documents locked in behind, and now we find it just as a vice president keeping it for years out in the open in different locations.
Special counsel Robert Hur was appointed to investigate the matter. He served in the Trump administration as the U.S. attorney in Maryland. He resigned in 2021. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we remember the life of Lisa Marie Presley, who died suddenly yesterday at the age of 54.
Plus, we're keeping it chilly around for now, but the warm air on the way. The breakdown after this.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the categories you choose.